Good morning, friends. I hope you are well. Let me see if I can get this to gallery view. Cool. Thank you for joining us today. It's our second weekly connection. I do have a question about next week, though, because we are having a Star Wars launch on Thursday. I'm wondering if we want to potentially adjust the time for our connection next week, maybe bump it a little bit later so that we can all get our pre-orders in. Or if we want to just do it collectively while we're on our call. So I will put a poll in our business support group to see if we want to keep the call at the same time, and then we'll all just Zoom and enter our orders in together, or if we want to adjust the time a little bit. So I hope everybody is having a wonderful week so far. Is there anything that you guys brought with you today that you want help coaching through? If you have any customer questions that you're not quite sure how to answer, team questions that you want to get answered, I'm just going to open it up for you guys first.
Okay, Miss Ariel, I'll go.
Perfect.
I don't know if anybody else gets frustrated. So I knew this was happening, and I've just been working on Canva and doing some posts because I can't really see the workstation yet, at least an hour ago. So when that happens, I usually say, you know what? I've got other things to do, and I have some posts to create and working on my live tonight. So I'm going to focus on those because it doesn't have to be launched right now in my VIP group, even though I'm antsy to get all the information.
Same.
So thank goodness for the collective, because I have one customer that just had her granddaughter's 3rd birthday, and it was a Little Mermaid theme. And so I am snagging at least pictures to tease her, because again, like I said, with something under our little group, you just have to think outside the box and stop and take a deep breath and say, what can I do? This tool's gone, but what can I do?
I love that. You know, some people were able to get in, and that's how we have those photos. Is we've got, you know, for the larger leadership groups, we've got people who are sharing if they're able to get in. And so we're able to kind of disseminate, even though most of us can't get in, we still have access to that info. So I'm really glad that you had that shift in, okay, what can I do? That's a really awesome mindset, rather than, well, the one thing I wanted to do, I can't get done. So I'm going to go, you know, do the laundry or read a book.
I will say I am actually on workstation now, and it is loading. So I'm scheduling all of my emails and project broadcasts and filling in my calendar while we're sitting here chatting, trying to, before I get distracted and see, you know, squirrel. I'm just going through and just plugging everything in, scheduling it all now, because I will forget.
Perfect. And, you know, I'm actually planning to send our weekly Nomad Tribe news email today instead of tomorrow, so that everybody can have a little bit more of a heads up on what's going on. And I almost have my jot forms ready to, so if anybody needs them, they can clone them as needed. But I'm getting things out a little bit earlier this week so that everybody can have a little bit more time to prepare. And if they haven't had a chance to maybe watch our huddles from this week, which were very beneficial for LTO marketing strategies, I'm linking those in there so that they can watch those and get their game plan going for this, because it's going to be awesome.
It's crazy because Lamar was such a...
One thing I did want to ask, Ariel, since I didn't join under you, but now I am directly under you, do you send anything for new consultants? Like, I'm putting together just a little package with a little printout on like how to make felt samples, and then 5 felt samples and 5 little baggies, and just a welcome letter from me. And I'm going to throw in a postcard and like some pixie sticks, something that's light, easy to ship, just to say like, welcome to the team. But I was wondering if there's anything you do, if there's anything cool to add to that you suggest, because I know a lot of papers just get tossed.
Yeah. So I used to do something similar to that, but it was not sustainable for me and for the team. And then I felt awful if some got it and then some didn't. So I just scrapped that. And so the system I've been working on being consistent with is the email, the welcome email. Here's all the things you need to know. And then along the way is when we touch on like samples, how to use like the video I shared the other day, how to use samples, little simple things like that. Because as much as I loved sending out that mail, I was not always consistent with it and it was not sustainable for me. So I did do that. But as my team grew, I realized what I was doing for 1 or 10, I couldn't do for double, triple digits. And it felt unfair. And then it spread my resources where I could have been actually connecting with them versus, okay, I've got to get this packet to send to them that they may or may not use. And I'm missing out on that time that I could actually be sending them a text, be sending them an email, getting them involved in our groups. So I have found that it was not sustainable for me, but I love that you are doing it. And if it's something that you can keep up with, awesome. What I did add, I think was the same thing, felt samples, top 10 reasons to do your business, and just a couple other things along the way.
Okay. Yeah, I did create a workflow in Flowdesk for new people that just goes over, welcome, and then the key points from our consultant training stuff in back office. Because I know I see a ton of people, especially lately with, licensing things. So I have an email on sharing licensed products and what you can and can't do, and then how to set up your pay immediately so you can just direct deposit that, and a couple other things like setting up your free for 3 months website and using Amy. And then I actually just created an email but forwarded my website to it. So it's like team.my website, and it's just all the links of like FAQs and helpful Facebook groups and all that kind of stuff, so they can get back to that easy.
I love that. That's a really awesome option. I am not as tech organized as you, but I do know that for those who might be listening to Ellie and thinking, oh my gosh, I can't do that for my team, that's okay. You don't have to, right? Ellie has, like, her brain is organized in a different way than mine, and I am very envious. But also we've got a lot of those things available in the Firefly Nomad Collective. So if you want to just tag people there, we've already got some systems in place, but they're not necessarily all in one place like Ellie's. So I freaking love that you did that. Is there any chance that you would be willing to share that in the tribe?
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I can just drop in my link. That way you guys can see just how I have it set up. And then if anyone wanted to copy it, it's literally, I just created an email in Flowdesk and then just added little sections with a bunch of different links. And I did the same thing instead of using Linktree, because I already pay for Flowdesk. I just made that my links, and then my DNS settings, I have links.my website. And so that's just there. And so I do so much in Flowdesk, so it keeps everything in one spot.
I love that. And because I use Canva for my Linktree type setting, but I didn't even think about using Flowdesk. That's awesome.
See, while I'm tech inclined, Canva, I don't have like a creative artistic brain, and I never like the way things look. And I'm like, that's not the right size. How do people get it to look this way? And so I am just like, okay, email, here we go.
I love that. And this really shows how, different strokes for different folks. People are going to find something that works for them that may not work for others. But I love that there are so many options available to us. That's really rad. I've got my rad shirt on today.
Yay.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that very much. So how are you guys so there were several of you who did watch who were on the huddles the other night. What is your plan for marketing for the LTOs?
I'm waiting for you to create your pre-order so I can copy and edit it.
It's going to be done so soon.
It's not creative, so.
Totally get that. How do you plan to use the job form?
So I am going to personally message. I have, like I said, I tag people in Project Broadcast. So
Good.
I'm going to send it direct to people I know that have posted that like they loved The Mandalorian. People, especially I have tons of people with girls between the ages of like 4 and 11 that I know love The Little Mermaid.
Yes.
So I'm going to, in addition to going in my VIP group, I am going to direct message that to those people. And I'm just going to say, you know, hey, a lot of people are interested in this limited time offer. As soon as they sell out, they're gone. Get your stuff in now. And here's the link, fill it out. Let me know if you have questions and be good to go with that.
Awesome. I love that. I love that you're very intentional with who you're going to be reaching out to. And I don't have tags like that, but I do have previous purchases. So my plan, because I have the history of all of the previous Star Wars launches, is I'm going to go into my workstation and search who bought what and reach out and let them know that this whole collection is coming out. So while I don't have things as organized as you, as far as tags, I at least have that. But I have your customer form saved so that I can clone it and use it.
That's my one contribution for people to clone there.
It's such a good contribution. All right, what else do you guys have questions on or need help coaching through? It can be anything, not just the LTO launches that are happening next week, but do you have questions on maybe even mindset? How can you think about something differently? How can we help you, you know, see a situation differently? How can we help you work through things? I saw Linda pop back on camera. Do you have any questions for us?
Ariel, can I just kind of go back to
Absolutely.
with the new customer stuff? So I have 2 under me, and in reaching out to my first one that joined, they're both older, you know, so I get it. I'm not good with the acronyms, but with Let's Freaking Sponsor, is it Ray? How do you pronounce her name? Ray?
I call her Ree.
Ree put together her welcome packet,
Mhm.
and she went over it really quickly. But my takeaways from that months ago were: make sure they have the consultant support phone number.
Mhm.
Your workstation is your best friend.
Yeah.
Acronyms, which I struggle with daily, with what does all this mean?
Mhm.
And then the final one that she pointed out is when she's doing orders, she doesn't get what's on the history screen. And so I've been researching that. And by some small miracle this week, with everything going on in my life, in one of the other groups I belong to, the graphics, somebody showed the graphics that were on her flyer, the exact same ones. So I'm in the process of kind of one was designed by the graphic chicks, and I don't know who the other 3 were, but I'm in the process of kind of pulling that into a Canva flyer design, so it's a full page, just so they have a sheet of handy information in those quick questions, because that comes up a lot. And to me, with who I'm working with, and for me, if I'm struggling and they're struggling, then I need this sheet too. So why not share it with them?
Awesome. I love that. And so just for reference, there are a lot of acronyms, and you know, we're used to acronyms with all of our background, and then
Yeah.
added with us for military. So we've got acronyms coming out the wazoo. In the Sensi Life, or Sensi Life, good grief, the consultant guide, it is the Sensi Life. In the very back, there is a glossary, so that if you're ever confused on what something is, what something means, that is a great place to go. And this is all digital too on your workstation. This can be found if you type in consultant guide as a digital PDF, but it does break down a lot of the acronyms. But if you ever have a question or you're confused on what something means, and when you switch from like team wholesale volume to group wholesale volume, different things like that, you know, I love this conversation because what you don't know, somebody else probably is also wondering, and they may not be brave enough to ask. And so don't hesitate to ask, because there's really no silly question.
You know, and I've probably been searching for all the wrong terms because I didn't even think of the consultant guide.
Mhm.
And I know it's there, but again, it's that quick reference that you can do on your tag board, your
Yeah.
vision board, whatever. How silly of me. I've been out there since when did you had me do that in October? And when I find time, I'm out there looking, and it's just the buzzwords again, connecting the dots. One thing I'll say is that I'm slowly learning that I should just message you saying, okay, I'm lost. Help.
Yeah, I am totally down for that. Or you know, especially because if it's outside of my work hours, I'm likely not going to respond until the next day. Then feel free to ask in our tribe group, in the collective group. You know, everybody at some point has probably had these questions, or they don't know what they don't know. And so if you ask something, it might spark another question that they have, or give them the answer they didn't know they needed. So don't ever hesitate to utilize those groups too, because they really are there for your support. To support you and for your support. I like a good bra, you know?
My question, then this is going to sound really, really dumb of me. I am so new, I cannot find how to log on to anything.
Not a dumb question. Do you know your consultant ID and
Nope.
the password you used when you set it up?
Nope.
Okay, so if you go back to your email, no, this is not a dumb question. You have been so busy, you probably haven't even had a time to just sit and think about this.
I'm trying to today.
Yes.
But as you notice I got a phone call, and I'm working on email, trying to walk away from that, but I'm trying to concentrate.
I understand that. So what you'll want to do is go through and search your email, and I can get you your, do you tend to use a similar password? So like if you were to have your consultant ID, you would know what the password might be?
No, I don't do that because I have a military husband.
So you get, yeah. Okay, so you'll
I have
log
2
in.
password books. Actually, I have 4, but I have 2 password books. And with these things,
Oh, I love it.
and I have to keep track of my passwords because he makes me change my passwords every 6 months.
Good for him. Good for you. My husband tells me I should.
His
But
own. So I bought him his own password books.
good. And then you have to remember all of his information too, his social, his birthday, all of that. I get
And
it.
if he should pass, I got to know what his passwords are, and he's got to know mine.
Oh, yeah.
That's something everybody needs to know, because when my parents passed, we didn't know how to get on their computer and get all their information.
Gosh. Okay,
So,
so do you want me to grab your ID?
I'd love it.
And because you can always do forgot password. So that's something that Edie as your sponsor, and I both have access to as your upline. We don't have access to your password, but we do have access to your consultant ID number, which is what you'll use to log in to the workstation.sensi.com.
I'm sorry, say that again. What?
I have it in the chat as well, but it's workstation.sensi.com.
Okay.
I'm just going to add why Ariel's looking that up. I'm glad you're on today, Linda, because I peak. Well, I shouldn't say that. I ghost those people under me, and I've just seen the stress, and you were on my list after this call. So,
Well, I was going to call you before, and I went, no, I'll wait, because you know what I've been doing? I have a program on my computer, because I have to do this for my other business. I've been inventorying everything from the catalog, the Sensi catalog, on my inventory thing, creating a number for it, and then going through my house and collecting all of what I have personally and adding it to it. I'm up to item 115.
Oh my gosh. Look at you. You're organized. I love this.
I'm trying to be. I'm still not. I don't
my
even want to
gosh.
show you my office. That's why it's blurred in the background.
You're so funny. Hey, oh, Linda, I did send you a text with your consultant ID.
Okay.
And it is 7 digits.
Okay, which email did you send it to? I have
Oh, I
8 of
just
them.
sent it to the text message.
Oh, text message.
Yes.
Oh, it's on my phone. It's in my hand.
Perfect. If you don't mind me saying it out loud, I can. It's not a private thing. The login information is the private.
Okay, I see it.
You see it? Perfect. All right. Cool. So if you have any issues with that, let us know, but you'll use that and then you can do forgot password and then get yourself re-upped. And then everything will hopefully start making sense once you're in there and you can explore the dashboard and the workstation, the different tabs and everything.
And Linda, if you're curious, because of your response with Ariel, what's the date today? 14.
April 14th.
Today if you want the beautiful bubble warmer
Yes,
bubble,
I do. I was just trying to do that, try to order that.
we can get that set up, and that's in the workstation. But I'll be honest, Ariel had to walk me through it too the first time, because it's a treasure, but it's kind of a very hidden treasure.
It's a hidden treasure.
I
It's like the Little Mermaid's sea trove.
I just made a video on how to sign up because Michelle asked me yesterday. So if you want, I can also post that in the Nomad group.
Yes, please.
But I also wanted to say, did you guys see, because Canada gets theirs before us, did you see the in-person pictures of this warmer?
I haven't. Where did you see them posted?
I want to say it was Lisa Battershell's group that she does like posts for people to like copy and paste. She just does sample posts and stuff. But she had posted it, and you know what? I can add it to the video and just be like, hey, if you're interested in getting this, here's how to go through and do it. But I have 2 of those pictures on my phone, so I can just drop those in that same post.
Yes, please. That's
I mean,
wonderful.
I saw them too yesterday, and I can't remember what group. So I do have a question, because, and I guess it's where people, and is it a touch point or a pickup point? Some consultants can just drive to the distribution center, but somebody already had it. I'm like, how do they get this before we've even paid for it?
So it's Canada that gets it early because there's different things that go on with the cross-border agreements and having to get it to them. Canada does have it ship earlier than the US. Even though we're all region 1, because of their different regulations that they have, they're able to get it just a little bit earlier, just to make sure that they do get it.
Okay. I was just curious, because every time I see those pictures, one, it confirms that I have an addiction, and my husband was like, another one. Well, this completes the cycle, I guess, of the first year, but this one, I think this, I don't know what it is about May, because you snagged me, well, with your posts with the chromatic one right before I joined. And then it became like, are all May warmers going to be like this, Ariel? Are they just like springy and unique? Your experience? I mean,
well, the last 2 years, April has been some sort of succulent. So it feels like they've got some sort of trend going, right?
It does. But I mean, I just think I told my husband, it's like gasoline on water. It's that really pretty reflectiveness. Sorry, I've got a little older Yorkie that's waking up, and she likes to cough when she wakes up. So
good. Yeah, so definitely, Ellie, if you could post that video, that would be wonderful. And those photos, that's amazing. I really appreciate that you are so willing to share. That's all I'm going to say about that for now. Brenda, I see that you're joining us. Do you have any questions for us? Anything that you need help coaching through, ideas, suggestions? We're here for you. Probably not. That's okay. Okay, so guys, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about? Or I have something else I was going to chat with you guys about to help the
Scent Warmer of the Month.
What was that? Oh, maybe that was an accident. So I wanted to talk with you guys about the 5x5 consistency. You know, we have that, I mentioned it yesterday, but the 5x5 consistency, it's a checklist that if there's really nothing else that you can commit to, like even on your worst day, if you can complete this 5-point checklist 5 times a week, it is going to help you really solidify that foundation of your business, because it's going to help you do the important things with the social selling and the social networking. So if you run your business on social media, like a lot of us do, this checklist is going to be very beneficial for you. If you don't run your business on social media, if you're somebody who runs it a little bit more offline, then this checklist will just need to be adjusted a little bit for you. But for those of us who primarily social sell, the 5x5 checklist is as follows. You make 1 post daily, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook, doesn't matter. Just make that post for your relevance. You make 1 offer every day and make it a bold offer, right? So ask somebody if they want to join, if they need an extra stream of income, or if they want to just support their own Scentsy purchases, if they want to host and get their stuff for free. I know a lot of people are concerned with budgets right now, and, you know, with the cost of things rising, hosting is a great way to not have to pay full price, but still get their favorites and get their friends scented as well, because we still have a lot of daily necessity kind of items. We have our cleaning line, our laundry line. People aren't going to stop cleaning and stop doing the laundry. So we can always focus on those items as well. And ask them if they want to buy. That's the third option for making a bold offer. So right now we've got these great LTOs. It's an awesome opportunity for you to reach out. The third thing is to follow up with your customers. And I know this might sound silly. It might sound like, oh yeah, no, I for sure do that. But making it intentional, asking how they like their order, asking how their family's doing, following up with them specifically via a one-on-one message or phone call or email, and not just relying on a blanket social media post. Because oftentimes we think, okay, I've posted and now the sales are going to come in. That's not how business works. Sometimes a really well-placed ad or post will get a sale. That's totally possible. But we cannot just we can't just throw something to the wall and hope it sticks, right? We actually have to make the effort and follow up with our customers. Next one is for social selling. You post in your Instagram stories, or you make a reel, or you go live every day. And it can be something silly, it can be something educational, something to serve your customers, something that you're selling, but make sure that you are active in one of those 3 areas as well every day, besides just making a post. And then every day, it's a really great idea to connect with 5 to 10 new leads. Oftentimes, you know, we find that just by scrolling on social media, whether it's Instagram or Facebook, we'll see something that we want to comment on, we want to connect with somebody about something that they've posted that we've been through, or that sounds exciting, or that we can relate to. Make that connection and make it personal, and don't make it feel spammy, right? Because the point of social selling is to be social. The point of creating a social network is to be social while you network. It doesn't always have to be about Scentsy. It doesn't always have to be about your business. And I think sometimes we forget that going through the motions of our business, we're people first. We are not Scentsy. I am not the product. I am Ariel. I am the mom, the wife, the fun friend. I love reading. I love working out. And I love loving on my people. I also sell Scentsy, and it's so fun, and I love serving my customers and my team, but I'm all these other things as well and first. So make sure that when you're connecting with those leads, you're not necessarily just going in for the sale. The connection is not about the sale. Does that make sense? So that's the 5x5 checklist. If you can at least do that 5 days a week, that is really going to help you build that foundation and build that consistency and that discipline. This is something I've been working on, especially this year. My words of the year are discipline and connection. But I found myself getting lazy or putting things off, procrastinating, and even building things up bigger in my mind than they actually are. I don't know if you do this with tasks at home or not, but especially lately with taxes. I just kept building it up and making it think it was just going to be this bigger thing than it was. And so rather than doing taxes, I would go do laundry. Rather than doing taxes, I would make flyers. Rather than doing taxes, I would find anything else to do. And then when I finally sat down and did it, it took me like 3 to 4 hours for my business. So my goal is to start working on it quarterly so I can segment it and not have it be built up as this big thing in my mind. But what are you building up in your mind that seems and feels like it's going to be a bigger task than it is, that you can just dedicate a couple minutes to and get done? And also something else that you can do with this 5x5 checklist, maybe daily, write down what are your top 3 priorities to get done. I know personally I struggle with this because I feel as though I have 18 browser tabs open in my mind, and I'm constantly bouncing from activity to activity or project to project, and I never get one damn thing done because I'm always bouncing. So at the beginning of the day, write down the top 3 things that you want to get done that day. Do one thing and complete it. Do the second thing and complete it. And do the third thing and hopefully complete it. And you will find that at the end of the day, you have completed everything that was the priority. And if you have extra time to work on other things, great. If you have extra time to maybe start a project that you wanted to work on tomorrow, awesome. Or go have yourself a free time. Reward yourself with like sitting and scrolling Facebook or watching a Netflix show or reading your favorite book. Reward yourself for getting those things done because you stayed on task. I think it's so important. It talks, Kristen talks about it in the podcast they shared today on the Nomad Tribe support group. She talked about the time scarcity, and when we think, oh my gosh, I don't have enough time for this, it's because we're not prioritizing and we kind of tend to spiral. So I just want to let you know, I am currently working myself out of those habits by implementing the top 3 priorities and doing my checklist. Because if on your worst day, all you can get done is that checklist, you've still done something, right? On your worst day, what can you get done? And then give yourself some rest. So.
Ariel, can I add to that? Because you and I had that discussion with the 5, reach out to 5. And I think we touched on it Tuesday night, or it could have been another. I've been having stuff play in the background as I worked yesterday, so my brain's jumbled. But I really like the reaching out to 5 because it's simple. There were 2 takeaways from what I listened to. One was, even if it's wishing someone happy birthday, go out and search your birthdays, search your wedding anniversaries.
Yeah.
I usually at 9 o'clock at night go out and see what my friends are posting, trying to get their feed to appear on, because the lovely algorithm, just trying to get things to come up more often. Because I don't know if it's just me, but as a consultant, once I start posting stuff, seems like all I see is Cincy. So I've had to kind of search and peck and discover. The other thing I heard on something was that you need to set up like 4 pillars to build yourself and your relationship with others when you're connecting. And that's going out and, well, first of all, defining your interests. Like you said, your mom, you love coffee, you're a military wife. And then you go out and find those groups on Facebook and gently start making posts. I think it was somebody else that was talking. It was talking about it. It was just a really good mindset that goes about with what you were just talking about. Because I know what my interests are, but again, it's that procrastination that kicks in. And it's like, girl, you have other interests besides these 2 groups that you belong to. And I'll be honest, I belong to Cincy group, Masonic groups, and Weight Watcher groups. And it's like, I read, I draw, I go for walks. I have got to sit down, block some time, stop procrastinating, telling me a story, and find out, it's again, who am I? I am more than just Cincy and all the things I listed.
Yep.
And it's like, I like to read, and it's like, man, why do we do this to ourselves? when it's logical to do, but then I guess there's some fear factor where it's like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
But I've just been, as you know, I've been pivoting all week. So I'm just trying what do you want to accomplish today? Yesterday, I think I got, I'm trying to do my math in my head. You'll laugh at that because you know how you goof it up. I caught up and jumped ahead. So I got 12, I guess, 12, my task of 12, I was able to go back and check off things that I hadn't gotten to. And it is very rewarding to sit down and go, wow, even though I'm busy, because I do mine at night, I've finished today's work. What do I want to accomplish tomorrow morning? Just so it's hot and heavy on my head.
Yep.
And when you don't get to it, things snowball, and that can really affect your business. I have, when I posted, I grabbed the paring knife yesterday. I made all my samples and didn't realize how popular chasing rainbows would be. And I did all my samples, and I got the 2-bar set, and I was like, okay, because I ran out of the little baggies from Amazon. So it's like, I can't make them now. And I still don't have the baggies ordered. I grabbed some of my jewelry baggies that were really fun to stick things in. But it was like, oh my goodness, come on. This was something that took 1 minute and you've been putting it off for 10 days.
Yeah. And
you
just got to sit down and do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be pretty. And, for me specifically, I find myself, if it doesn't look perfect, I don't want to send it out. But why? It's a wax sample. They're going to melt it anyway. It's not going to stay in a cute shape. So when I started, I used to do all the cute molds and make them really pretty. And there's no need, in my mind, in my business. If you have time and that's what you want to do with your samples, awesome. But for me, it was a waste of time.
Well, and again, with all the stuff you reference and send us to as consultants to spread our wings, I love the different ways that people do samples, and I've seen samples, and one of my prized possessions is a crinkle cutter now. I haven't gotten to it, but I can see after the week I've had that there's wisdom in how we share how we do things, and we get to cherry pick, because the bigger you grow, if I had to do a ton of samples, I don't have hours to do the mold or do the felt samples. And I had to laugh because with Ellie's little 100 dots, and you just go into Walmart, I was like, why do I make things harder than they have to be? Because you and I both live in a hot area. So this is the last month someone's going to get a true wax sample. And I usually go to felt at this time. And I was like, wow, I wonder how I'm trying to figure out, is there a big melting pot that's just a sheet that the sheet of felt will fit in and it will all absorb? Because then you just flip it out and let it dry. And again, you're done in seconds. And I don't think I would have had that aha moment yesterday if I hadn't gone back and looked at what haven't you gotten to, because life got in the way, that you need to focus on today.
Cool.
That's what I love about those little circle felts that I posted, because I have a chocolate melter. And so I drop in like a bar of the scent of the month or whatever, let it melt down. And then I literally take like a handful and just plop them in, and then take them out, let them dry, and then stick them in bags while I'm catching up on shows or whatever I'm doing.
Yeah, I love that. There's so many ways that you can be intentional with that too. And also, if it's not something that's in your wheelhouse, if you have a friend who you want to barter with, like, hey, I'll give you, 1 or 2 free bars of this scent of the month or whatever I have on hand if you make the samples for me. And then you are outsourcing, right? You're trading goods because your time is so valuable. And if that's something that's a waste of your time, but your customers love it, not a waste of your time, but takes up more time than you have, you can always barter with a friend to make your samples for you. It's a great opportunity to also get them using Scentsy more. And, share the opportunity, share the specials, share the love with them. But I love bartering.
Oh, Ariel, I was also going to add, I wanted to say thank you. And I don't know where we had the discussion that Cincy will always do what's right, but sometimes they do say no. I had a customer that reached out on Monday that she unfortunately typed her wrong address in, and she went in, it said her packages had been delivered, and she was like, oh no, I didn't. And this, no, it was Sunday. She reached out and I said, well, she said she typed in the wrong address. And it was a phone call. And I said, well, what I can do right now is I can quickly type an email, but let me get you the customer service number, because I don't know always how quickly they respond. It can be 48 hours and I want you to get your stuff. Well, I finally got the email today and she had gotten in touch with them. The house was scary that the package was delivered to, so she grabbed a friend and they went and got her package. But again, I said, I know it's hard to hear that bad news and you were so brave. And I said, I want to make it right because you were brave. And so I said, look for Happy Mail. So I'm just going to go pull some bars from my stash and ship them out today, just because that takes a lot of, she described the house, Ariel, and I don't know, I would want a hitman to go with me. I was like, ooh, you be careful, because, I could see that. But really it's that touch point in following up, because I look at it, okay, she's on the fence right now. I can lose her or I can enhance it and say, I'm going to, thank you for being brave, because I don't think I could do that. I would look at my husband and say, you go to the door, and I would go to the door.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad that was resolved. And you're right. Sometimes we don't always hear the answers we want to. And I think as society in general, we don't like to sit in the hard feelings. And that comes with a lot of things in life. When specifically with Scentsy, when we're asking people if they want to join, host, or buy, we don't like to have the option of them saying no and having us feel the feelings and feeling rejected. But there's a couple things that go into that, right? They're not saying no to you. They just don't want what you're offering right now. And that's okay. So don't take it personally. But if something happens, can we sit in the hard for like 60 to 90 seconds and just sit for a minute? And then are we going to be okay? Sometimes we have this fear of the emotions and we avoid situations so that we don't have to feel those emotions. But sometimes we just have to feel those emotions, get it over with, and then move on. So if there's something that's making you feel like, oh, I don't want to, I encourage you, be brave, do the thing, sit with the emotions if it ends up being hard, and then move on.
Well, and I have a customer service background, and my hint is just, you have to wrap your head around that there are going to be days you have to deliver that bad news. And just remember to be kind, have a lot of empathy, and use your listening skills, because usually you can figure out a way to make both sides happy, if that sounds logical. It's hard. It's one of the hardest things when I was in a customer service training room to teach new hires, was that you're going to get people that are just screaming mad at you, but it's up to you how you handle it. And sometimes it's as simple as saying, hey, and you're great at this. You do all the little catchphrases. I don't know if you have a customer service background or what, Ariel, but I know you're personal. But great question. Let me look into this. And the biggest thing you can do is give someone a time frame of response. That I will get back. If it's easy and you can get to them within 24 hours or 48. With my customer, it was, I said, this is the first time. I was honest with her. This is the first time I've had to do an email like this. And thank you for teaching me what their response time is. And she was like, oh, and I said, because I don't know how the big email inbox looks. All I see is this huge stack of paper on someone's desk over the weekend that developed. And she was like, I hadn't thought about it that way. And, you know, always give them the option. They can be in the driver's seat, or you can take the lead. And most people, once you talk to them, they'll take the driver's seat and say, hey, I'll reach out to customer service. I'd rather have two people kind of making sure we both get the same answer. And I said, good idea. I mean, but it is one of the hardest things. And if you're scared, reach out to someone. I mean, if you don't have that skill set, that's why this tribe and the collective are so amazing, is that somewhere you can start developing that skill set. And that, when you look at those, what do I want to accomplish today? Once you start grabbing onto that, that's a huge win for you.
It is. You know, our brain is always going to try and take the easy way out. Our brain wants us to be, you know, the easy way to survive. So with our thought processes, I think just as a collective might need to start retraining our neural pathways, because the easy isn't always the right. The easy isn't what's going to help us grow. So retraining and saying, yes, I can, or yes, if, and try and get rid of the buts and the excuses and figure out the yes, how. So a lot of it is just a lot of mental work that you have to train your brain on how you're thinking. And oftentimes they're the thoughts that they're subconscious. We don't realize we're having them. And that's what guides us. So your thoughts can help sway your feelings, which help control your actions and get you the results you want. Cool. All right. Does anybody else have any other questions that they want to go over? Anything that they want to discuss? If not, we can probably just call it a few minutes early, but I am open to helping anybody else through anything.
Ariel, I have a question for you, because I do the limited job form too.
Mhm.
And I was I was looking into something that, is there a way, if I'm, because I'll just say this, I have a love-hate relationship with Google Docs. I don't know, and it's, I guess, again, how our brains process, but is there a way that we piggyback on each other when you like expand from just the free version? Is there a code or something so that you get credit for that?
I don't know if there is on Jotform. I can check, but what I do is when I knew I needed to upgrade, I waited for a sale that they were having. And you can always export all of your answers if you need to wait for a sale, but I think I got the package I'm using at 50% off.
Yeah, I should have done that at Christmas. It would have been the best Christmas gift, but you know.
But I think they do it a couple of times a year. So don't give up hope. If it's in your budget and you can do the full price, go ahead. But if you can wait for the next discount, I would consider that.
Yeah, and again, it's personal preference. I just, I'm still learning. Oh, I do have a question with Jot forms, because I spend a lot of time trying to get my Canva design to not look skewed. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Do you have any hints on the pixel ratios that you use when you go?
Don't.
But you know what I'm saying? I did the warmer of the month, and when I sucked my graphic in, it was hideous. It's a beautiful warmer, and I was like, no. And so it took me like a half hour just playing with the pixels. I'm sure I could reach out to support, but Edie's always doing that late at night.
The first step I would do is go to YouTube and see if there's a YouTube video specifically for Jotform images, or importing images to Jotform. That's the first thing I would do.
Well, what I have found that Facebook cover, if I do an Instagram post or a Facebook post, those are the ones that get skewed, and I have an easier time if it's a Facebook cover. I don't know why. But that was a learned process. I mean, I still have to tweak it, but it's not as silly looking. Because I don't know, it's just me. it's me and getting over that sample hurdle. I want it to look professional, but I think people get it that we're all trying our best too at the same time.
Oh,
So
for sure.
Let me just say the absolute worst is YouTube cover
Oh
photo.
my gosh. Agreed.
Because you can build a YouTube cover in Canva and nope, not true. So
Immediately wrong. Yep.
I had to do it probably 15 times because like a letter was too far to the right or too high. Oh, never create a YouTube cover photo.
Or keep a template and then just swap out where you know the border is.
Oh, I was like ready to throw my iPad.
I have been there. Yes. I hope recently too.
that's when you walk away and read a book.
Yeah.
I'll tackle this tomorrow. Where's that list of 3 things to do?
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. I hope this was helpful. I hope it provided some insight and training. And if y'all have any other questions, I'll post this replay for those who couldn't make it in the collective and then on my, or it's in the Nomad Tribe event and then on my YouTube channel as well.
Ariel, I just want to say thank you because I don't know how many times the past 3 weeks that I have jumped on or joined something. Replay is one of the best gifts that you and Heidi give us. So it's just makes life so much easier because all of a sudden it's like, what did they say? I gotta go listen to that.
Yeah, I love the playback feature.
So thank you. Thank you for your time today. Everyone
You're
have an
welcome.
awesome day. And Linda, when you're ready, you know the phone number, girlfriend.
Yes, I will give you a call. I'm gonna have to go pick up my grandson in a few minutes, but afterwards I'll give you a call.
Okay, look forward to it, girl.
All right,
we'll talk to you
friends.
later.
All right.
Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Talk to you
Okay.
soon. Bye-bye.